Hey fam, I have a moment to update you. So my name is Tamara and I am a mom. I am a nursing student. I am a full-time worker. I do a lot. But the purpose of these videos is going to take you through my nursing journey. I did have another channel, but unfortunately I don't have access to those videos. But if you want to go see Team Bailey, you'll see a lot of videos about my prerequisites. So chemistry, anatomy and physiology 1 and 2, statistics, sociology, all that good stuff. But I recently was accepted into the nursing program at my school, and I went to orientation, and I've spent so much money becoming compliant. So I just want to talk about my journey. So COVID changed my life. Not that I was, so impacted by it, and that I don't know anyone that passed away or even really got sick, but my compassion was triggered by how it affected, my city, my state, my country, the world. And I said to myself, I can do more than what I'm doing. I'm currently a residence manager. I work in hospitality. And I said, I can bring that same level of service to the medical field, and I can really affect lives. Like right now, it's how may I be of service, but I can really affect and change and save lives, and I can be a comfort to people in their darkest hour, maybe in their happiest hour. So yeah, that's why I have decided to become a nurse. My ultimate goal is to be a midwife, but for now I'm going to be happy being a nurse. I've chosen to go the ADN route, so an associate's degree in nursing. One, because I don't qualify for financial aid, so most of this is coming out of my pocket. I have been blessed with a scholarship and some grant money. So like the last 2 semesters, I basically haven't paid for school because God is like literally blessing this journey and providing the funds for it. And so let's talk about the prerequisites I took. I had almost no prerequisites, at least none of like the science ones, because I have a previous associate's degree. Of course, all of the general education requirements were taken care of. But summer of 2020, I took chemistry with the lab. I took human growth and development. I took anatomy and physiology 1 with the lab. I got an A in anatomy lecture. I got a B in anatomy lab. I got an A in chemistry lecture and lab, and I got an A in human growth and development. So woo, off to a good start, right? Well, in the middle of my anatomy class, I found out that I was pregnant, and it was such a jarring experience because I thought that maybe my motivation was waning and that I was becoming lazy and But then when I got that positive, I was like, oh my God, no wonder I'm so tired. No wonder I can't stay up and study for so long. I literally almost failed my anatomy 1 lecture and lab because of this. I was able to completely recover in the lecture to get the A, but I bombed my lab midterm because of like that fatigue. So I still recovered, but I ended up with a B. Now come fall, I had intended to take all the rest of my prerequisites that were necessary, which was intro to healthcare, lecture and lab, anatomy 2 lecture and lab, and also microbiology lecture and lab. But with the way that I felt being in the first trimester of my pregnancy, I said there's no way I can do all of this. So I decided to drop microbiology for the fall 2020. I did almost fail anatomy and physiology 2 lecture and lab because I was just so fatigued and so out of it, and the catch-22 is I had already in the way past withdrawn from anatomy 1 and 2, and you're only allowed to withdraw from 2 of the science classes. So I could not fail. I cannot get a DF or withdraw from any of my science classes. So if I would have failed anatomy and physiology 2 lecture or lab, that would be it for my journey at this college that I got accepted to. Luckily, I pulled it together. I got the exact scores that I needed for the final in both classes, and I did every single homework to the T, like talking about hundreds on every single homework. And because I did that, I was able to pull out a C in both lecture and lab. Intro to healthcare was a little bit easier for me. It was a lot of common sense life stuff. So I'm in my mid-30s. Like, a lot of that stuff I learned because life, you know, I didn't need a book to teach me it. So the lecture, I actually got a B because, again, pregnancy. And then in the lab, I got an A because it was super easy. We weren't on campus, so all of the skills that we had to do in Intro to Healthcare lab, we were able to do like on a family member at home, and we videotaped it. And that you will see on my other channel, Team Bailey. I uploaded a lot of the skills. So I got an A in that. Fast forward to spring 2021, I took microbiology lecture and lab, and wouldn't you have it, I wasn't supposed to give birth till April, close to my finals. I ended up giving birth on the day of my midterm, or at least I went into labor on the day of my midterm, and I spent the entire time that the midterm was open from Tuesday to Thursday in the hospital. I was actually in the hospital from Tuesday through Saturday. I was discharged on a Saturday. But I had done my due diligence, and at the beginning of the semester, I emailed my professors and told them that I was pregnant and that I wanted to set myself up for success. So if I happen to give birth, you know, when something is due, to, you know, help me. And they did just that. I had a lot of grace and favor. My midterm was pushed to the next week, and I didn't do so hot, but I think I got a C on that midterm. The point is, I ended up with a B in my microbiology lab and an A in microbiology lecture. So I ended up, the college that I go to, they rate you on 3 items. On they weight them equally at 33.33%. So they weight you on your cumulative GPA, your science GPA, and the cumulative score on the TEAS exam. So my cumulative GPA was a 3.1, I think. My science GPA was a 3.4, and I got a 76.7% on my TEAS. I thought with those scores, I had a good chance of getting in, but I knew that it wasn't the most competitive. If you go to forums like allnurses.com, you will like see a lot of people from your school commenting on what kind of scores they have and what grades they had. And what I noticed is that people who had lower GPAs like mine, which honestly, a 3.1 is a good GPA, and a 3.4 is an excellent science GPA. But for the purpose of nursing school, it's a low GPA. They had much higher TEAS scores, like in the 80s, some people in the 90s. So I was like, well, if I don't get in, I'm going to consider that's the Lord giving me a break and allowing me to apply for the spring semester. And if I get in, the Lord's saying, go, 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 go. So I watched people get acceptances for months. Like, the deadline to apply was June 1st, but people who had already submitted their applications, had high T scores and high GPAs, were already getting acceptance letters in May. I was so upset. So I watched all these people getting accepted on the forums, and then I think it was June 14th, maybe June 17th, I got the email. Congratulations. I was accepted into the full-time generic nursing program. And when I saw that email, I squealed. It wasn't a cry, it wasn't a yell, it was a squeal, because it was just something I worked an entire year for this. Blood, sweat, and tears. Literally. I did so much. So many times I thought I was going to give up on it. So many times I thought I was going to fail. And I pushed through, and God gave me grace and favor, and I was accepted. So God is so good. I'm so excited to start this program. I went to orientation last week. It was a 2-day orientation. The first day was in person. The second day was online. And there was nothing that they said that I didn't already know. But it was just good to be there on the medical campus. It was good to meet you know, like the directors of the programs. I went up to the chairperson of the department and I introduced myself. I shook his hand and I said, hello, my name is Tamara Bailey. I want you to know that I'm gonna ace this program. I'm working full time. I have a kid, but I'm gonna do this. And you're gonna see me walk across the stage on graduation. Just like that. I was like, and I need you to know my face, because if I end up in your office because I need help, I need you to remember me. So I recommend that if you have the opportunity to go on campus and meet the important people of the department, go do it. Introduce yourself. Make sure they know your face, because one day you might need them. I had to fight for myself. I had a teacher post an incorrect grade right before I was supposed to submit my application, and I had to fight. I had to call advisement. I had to call the office of admissions, advisement. I called my professor. I called his department chair. I went to the dean's office, and I got the correct grade that I was supposed to get, that I had earned. Not that I was given, but that I had earned. So make sure you know people. Make sure that they know you. You need to be in people's faces. So actually this summer, I ended up getting a scholarship. I had applied, but I didn't know, you know, with my GPA, I had such a bad past in my college career. I didn't know if they would even consider me for scholarships, but I wrote a good essay about being a new mom and how exciting, and you know, the challenges I overcame to like pass my spring classes, and they gave me a $500 scholarship for the summer. So I was only gonna take statistics because you needed to bridge from RN to BSN. But because they gave me the scholarship, I also decided to take sociology, which was my only remaining prerequisite for the BSN. And so I only ended up paying like $200 for that semester. And then surprisingly enough, I got this call from the financial aid office saying you need to apply for the HERF grant. Apparently it's like CARES Act, it's COVID money for the school. And I just found out the other day that they awarded me $1,200, which is gonna pay the majority of my fall 2021 classes. So I am like floating on cloud nine. I'm ready to get books. I have spent over $500 getting titers for school, booster vaccinations, tests, all sorts of stuff. Whew, Lord have mercy. Uniforms, actually it's probably up to like $700 now. Between that, the testing, plus my uniforms, I'm gonna spend about $300 on books, but it's all worth it. I know that God has blessed this journey, and I am so ready to start the studying. I have my full schedule already, and I've worked it out how, you know, what days I'm gonna work, what days I'm gonna be in school, what times I'm gonna be studying. Like, I am ready for this. So I really pray that you would like and subscribe, that you would be my cheerleader, and that I could be your cheerleader, that we can go on this journey together and make it happen. You know what I'm saying?